Hawks in their home whites, moving from left to right. It appears we have a equipment issue. That is number 20, Michi Akuzaku, who is heading off the field. So St. Bonaventure starting this game down a man. And we are underway at Sweeney Field. Lions will send this up. Here's Omri Peril. Lays it off into the middle. Eventually that was cleared away by Rafael Perea. Anderson swings this to Vujovic. Vujovic high up the field to Peril. Fletcher plays it towards the top of the 18. Goes towards Kapanekia, eventually cleared away by the Bonnies. Here's Warble. Got knocked off the ball there. Going to be a throw-in now for St. Bonaventure. And it is Perea who will let number 12, Haji Shi, take this. Pass around the back. Clay Smith will play it wide. Andrew Wilbert on the ball. Plays it into the middle. Akuzaku's back on the field after being dismissed before the kickoff. Here's Ariel Hadar. Hadar trying to go one-on-one with some fancy footwork. Plays this one into the box. It goes back post towards Fletcher, eventually headed away by Shi. Nice step from Vujovic. He's going to win a throw-in now for the Hawks. Here comes Fletcher. Back to Vujovic. Vujovic centers this one in. Headed away by Wilbert. Goes to the feet of Kapanekia. Kapanekia fakes the cross. Anderson will now put it in. Headed back. Goes towards Fletcher, who flicks it to Peril. And eventually cleared away by Perea. Hartman heads it back to the top of the box. Hunt gets a head in as well. Hadar will clip it back. And eventually kicked up the field by the Bonnies. Vujovic. Here's Fletcher. Nice give and go with Vujovic. Trying to get around his man. There is some contact. But it's just going to go out for a throw-in for St. Bonaventure. Vujovic was struggling to get around number 14, Keegan Dawson. We had the chance to meet with head coach Don D'Ambra earlier today, and one of the questions we brought up with D'Ambra was Omri Peril's impact, a player who's really woken up the past few games for the Hawks, and his offense is really impactful for this St. Joe's squad, and we will get to that interview in just a second as that ball was played towards St. Joe's 18. It was kicked away, out for a throw-in now, as Keegan Dawson will head over to take it. Dawson, you can see him backing up, so he certainly has a long throw similar to Garrett Lyons of the Hawks. This one goes into the middle of the box, headed right back up. Rohrabel tries to get a header on. He does. Played back. There's a shot on the ground. It did take a deflection, so it's going to be out for a corner kick. That was number 13, David Sobilos, who tried to get that shot off. As Rafael Perea will take this. Perea, a native from Lisbon, Portugal, had 9 assists for Ashland in 2021, lower level college. This one goes into the middle, is headed away. Hartman was first to that one in the air. Here's Rohrabel going one-on-one with Vujovic. Eventually deflected away. The Hawks can counter. They do have some pace and space along the sides. Here's Peril. Lays it off towards Fletcher. Fletcher right back to Peril. Peril gets his way into the box. Peril, the shot saved by Deschert. And Fletcher's rebound shot goes out of play. But a nice little counter there from the Hawks, and an even better save from goalkeeper Jules Deschert of St. Bonaventure. So when we spoke with Don D'Ambra about Omri Peril's impact, Coach D'Ambra said that he was a big contributor and can certainly score the crucial goals. He certainly embraces a moment. And we've seen Peril in crunch time find the back of the net, including a game-tying goal last week against Fordham with about 5 minutes to go. So he knows how to handle the pressure. And we expect him to certainly be an impact in this game today against St. Bonaventure. As Hartman will play this back towards Lyons. Here's Anderson. Anderson trying to get past Nicastro. Takes a little contact from Ceballos out of play. I don't believe we heard a whistle there, so I think it's just a throw-in. Yeah, it's just a throw-in as Anderson will collect the ball. Ceballos again, heavy pressure this time on Hunt. Goes out of play, and Garrett Lyons will head over to the sideline now for one of his signature throw-ins. Everyone gathering in the box now to the bottom right of your screen. As Lyons directing traffic before he puts this ball in. Here's a throw-in. Headed back right into the hands of Deshirt. Hunt might have gotten a header to that, but regardless, Deshirt ends that attack there. Here's She. Smith under heavy pressure. Ellick had to get it out for St. Bonaventure. And Ellick will sky this one into the air. Fletcher. Hartman back to Vujovic. The Hawks like to play along the back line as Collins will swing it back towards Ludasan. Kenyatta Collins has 1 goal on the season. And in fact, fun fact, he has a cousin by the name of Monty Williams, who is the head coach of the Phoenix Suns, who are beginning their new season. Throw in for Wilbert along the side. Headed up by Akwazaku. Headed by Kapanekia. Here's Hunt. That was poked up by Lyons. Perea, She under heavy pressure by Peril. Tries to head it towards the side. Fletcher will let it bounce out of play. Throw in for the Hawks. And they're going to hold up and let Garrett Lyons take this. Lyons taking his time before he unleashes this throw. You can see once again everybody gathering in that middle. Collins and Hartman being the big targets in the box off this throw-in. There it goes, headed right down into the middle, poked ahead by Collins, into the back of the net. Goal for St. Joe's. I believe it's Kenyatta Collins getting credit for that one, and the Hawks take a 1-0 lead early here at Sweeney Field.
Goal, St. Joseph, score by number 2, Kenyatta Collins.
So Kenyatta Collins, we just mentioned minutes ago that he has 1 goal in the season, will make that 2 after that crafty little poke into the back of the net off a rebound from a dangerous Garrett Lyons throw-in. This is exactly what you want if you're St. Joe's Hawks heading into the final home game of the season. Here's the replay one more time. That one got headed away initially. Collins with a little poke from his left foot getting past Deshirt. There's a lot of traffic in front of Deshirt there, but a great job by Kenyatta Collins to find the back of the net. So away we go once again here. 1-0 now in favor of the Hawks. This one gets played to Nicastro, who will find Perea on the side. Perea swings it in off the head of Hartman as the Hawks looking to counter. Hartman into the middle now. Kapanekia. Wide to Anderson. Anderson full steam ahead. Here's Hadar. Hadar plays it in, cleared away. Swung over to the near side now for Vujovic. Fletcher back towards Vujovic, who sends it in. Still up in the air, headed away by Sabilos. And Kapanekia gets taken away. Peril, Kapanekia. Interesting outside the foot shot there. Goes over the crossbar. Out of play, out for a goal kick. So about 35 and a half minutes to go if you are just tuning in. We're about 10 minutes in. Hawks up 1-0 thanks to a Kenyatta Collins goal of a throw-in from Garrett Lyons. Akwazaku, fancy back heel there towards Perea. Perea has 2 Hawks surrounding him as eventually he turns it over. Collins collects it. Fletcher into the middle. And a nice poke by Hartman. This ball gets swung wide towards Anderson. Anderson has Hadar to his left. Hadar lays it back off to Anderson. Anderson centers it in, cleared away. It's been all Hawks so far in possession. Something they want to keep up for the rest of this half. Warble was able to fend off Lyons. Plays it towards the side. Sent up towards Akwazaku. Nice breakup of the pass there by Collins. Hartman will play this over towards Vujovic. Anderson has Hunt ahead of him. Hunt finds Hadar. Hadar plays this in towards Fletcher, who heads it over, and Deschert will put an end to that attack. Deschert comes flying off his line to collect that ball. As Deschert will slow it up and let the Bonnies reset before he unleashes the ball there. Thrown over towards Wilbert. Sabilos being hacked by Hadar. Booted back up the field. Anderson. Kicked up by Lyons. Out of play towards that Hawks bench. The throw in now for Anderson. Taking his time, Hunt will collect the ball. Eventually gets turned over. Nick Castro finds Warble. Warble, long ball. Perea has some space ahead of him. He's going to slow it up and let Vujovic catch up to him. Warble trying to lay it off for Akwazaku, who is broken up by the Hawks defense. Hunt to Hadar. Ariel Hadar finds Anderson. Lyons. Here's Anderson. Anderson's been busy so far in this first half. Receives another pass from Hadar. Hawks doing a good job keeping possession right now. Collins patiently will play it over to Anderson. Will scoop that ahead towards Peril. Eventually broken up by the Bonnies. Not the best of clearances there from Wilbert, as here come the Hawks once again. It's Hadar. Hadar moving in. Hadar, the shot blocked. Right to the feet of Kapanekia, who will let one go, but over the crossbar for a goal kick. The Hawks have been strong offensively so far, but it's been clear this past season that they've been missing Matias Mancini, who has been out all season. We spoke to Don D'Ambra about the loss of Matias, and he said that Matias was really experienced and capable of scoring a lot of goals, which obviously helps an offense So he's been a big offensive spark. We saw how productive he was last season. So they've been missing him this year, but players like Omri Peril, Ariel Hadar, James Fletcher, all have done a good job stepping up in Matthias's absence. Here's Peril. Trying to get past Wilbert. Goes over to Anderson. Anderson, shot blocked. Bounces towards Perea, who has to kick it up towards Vujovic. Kapanekia to Fletcher. Fletcher sends this in, headed away. Goes to Hartman. Hartman could have had a shot, I think, if he wanted to there. Instead, it's Fletcher who plays it towards the back post. And goes wide for a goal kick. Quick distribution out towards Sabillos. Warble. Warble, I think the only St. Bonaventure player that has an accolade to his name, as he was a 2021 A10 All-Rookie team member and was also a one-time A10 Player of the Week so far in 2022. Spent time at Toronto FC's academy before St. Bonaventure. Had 5 goals last season, currently at 6 this year. Anderson tried to go over the top there as Kapanekia will regain possession for the Hawks. Kapanekia trying to maneuver around 4 Bonnies. Eventually cleared away by Shi, right to the feet of Hartman. Vujovic spotted Fletcher wide. Fletcher back towards Vujovic. Vujovic has been a great contributor in his freshman season for the Hawks. One-time Philly 6 award winner. A little bit of contact there from Collins on Akwizaku will result in a free kick now for the Bonnies. Perea will take his time before putting this ball in. Perea has 1 goal and 3 assists on the year. He plays this on the ground towards Rorbel. Back to Perea. Dawson sends it in. It's a teasing ball just wide of the post there, certainly giving Luis Ludasan a scare. The Hawks dodging a bullet on that one. That was a really teasing ball that was played in, curling towards that net. No one able to get a piece of it. Lions plays this back towards Ludasan. It deflects over towards Nicastro, looking for the extraordinary. And his chip shot will go wide of the frame there, so it's going to result in a goal kick now for the Hawks. Vujovic back to Collins. Ludasan, there's pressure from Rorbel. He has to get this one out. Hunt has options forward. Finds Fletcher wide. Here comes James Fletcher into the 18. Fletcher going one-on-one with Shi. Makes a move. The shot saved by Deschert. But again, great counter by the Hawks. Great save by Deschert. We've seen 2 counters so far by the Hawks. 2 saves from Deschert. As we'll take a look at that play one more time. Here's Fletcher moving in. Electing to go one-on-one with Shi. Makes a great juke there towards his left. Taking a shot, but saved by Deschert. So a corner kick now. Everybody lined up in the middle. A little bit of contact there with Hartman. So you can see Hartman and Rorbel going at it. Quick hold up here. I believe there was a small clock issue. The Hawks are waiting to put in a substitution as well. Not sure if the official's going to let him on. That's Jules Brandvang waiting to come in. They also are having a switch of kick takers. It appears it's Fletcher coming off for Brandvang, as Peril will now head to the corner to take this. I think there's a little blood on James Fletcher. That's why he had to quickly come off. So Brandvang is on to replace him. I'm sure we'll see Fletcher come back in the next few minutes. But the right foot of Omri Peril will take this. Ball's played in, headed up, and just wide of the post there. The Hawks have been dangerous on these little set pieces, corner kicks, long throw-ins. When they have so many big targets in the box, it causes all kinds of chaos for the opposing team. She plays into the middle, is picked off by Brandvang. Deflects towards Kapanekia, the shot. Need right back up into the air. Out for another corner kick, second of the game for St. Joe's. As it's Omri Peril once again to take this. Everybody lining up in the center once again. You can see Hartman, Collins, Lyons. As Hunt is more near post on this. Peril plays it in. Oh, what a volley there. That's Chris Hunt. But way over the net and out of play, goal kick for the Bonnies. You can see Deschert was way off of his line there. Practically a wide open net, but a really difficult angle for Hunt to take that volley on. James Fletcher has re-entered the game off camera, coming in for Alex Hartman.
Number 12, James Fletcher, re-enters for the Hawks.
Big boot from Deschert into the middle of the field. It's headed up by Kapanekia. Peril got taken down by number 14, Keegan Dawson, but we're going to continue playing. Nicastro being hounded by a few Hawks. Eventually comes out to Warble. Warble into the middle for Xavier Ellich. Here's Sabilos. Akwizaku. Akwizaku draws another foul. Free kick now for St. Bonaventure. Akwizaku had the lone goal in the 1-1 tie against UMass last time out for St. Bonaventure. Jules Deschert ended that game with 5 saves. So Perea is standing over this ball, as well as number 4, Xavier Ellich. They'll play it short, and that did not work. It looks like they're trying to go off the training ground there. Looked like Nicastro was trying to find Perea. However, the Hawks did a great job spotting that play. Collins. Hunt, long ball towards Vujovic. She is there and heads it away. Peril does a great job keeping that ball in. Akwizaku. Kapanekia was able to get it past him. Long ball, there's Warble. Warble's been a handful already for the Hawks defenders today. Warble moving close to the 18. Lays it off for Nicastro. Back to Warble. Plays it wide to Sabilos. Nicastro gets pushed off the ball by Lyons. Hawks going the other way. It's only Peril streaking down the field. He also had Fletcher. Kapanekia. Wide, there's Anderson. Poked away. Lyons. Long ball up, nobody home there for the Hawks. So that one will roll out of play. Another goal kick for Jules Deschert. Deschert's coming into this game at 1-5-2 with a 1.8 goals against average and a .725 save percentage. Oh, Collins and Warble collided there. A little too much contact from Collins. I believe that's a second foul called on him today, as it's going to be a free kick for the Bonnies. Warble laboring after that play. I think the official wants to check him out real quick. Head injuries are always a main concern here in sports. So you saw Warble holding the back of his neck a little bit after that play. Seems like he checked out, though. Everything's okay, so it's going to be a free kick now for the Bonnies. Castro over towards Perea. Perea into the box, tries to center it in. Great job by James Fletcher to get in the way of that one. Deflects off of him, out for a corner kick. And it seems like Perea, who is one of the main set-piece takers of the St. Bonaventure team, will take this. Perea is second on the team with 5 points currently. I'll play this one in. It's headed down, goes to the feet of Warble, but Peril is there to kick it out just before Warble got to it. Warble once again, 3 Hawks flocking over towards him. Eventually Anderson comes away with it. Brandvong kicked up towards Hunt, who gets taken down. No call. We're going to continue playing. Vujovic curls it ahead to Hadar. Hadar elects to go into the middle. Long ball down to Vujovic. Is he going to be able to race to this one? He can. But just out of play. It was a heck of an effort there from Vujovic, but St. Bonaventure will take the ball now. Throw in for the Bonnies. It's a high one. It goes right to Vujovic. Hadar gets shrugged off by Akuzaku. Warble passes this over towards Perea. Perea has Akuzaku to his right. He's going to elect to keep the ball instead. Plays it over to Wilbert. Sibilos. Dawson. Dawson looking for an option. There's Warble. Warble's been all over the field despite just being a striker. Still on the ball. He's being harassed by Brandvong. This one gets played over to Dawson. Wilbert, Sibilos, combining there. Swung back to number 5, Clay Smith, one of the captains for the Bonnies. Dawson, here's she. Hawks beginning to move up and pressure the back line here, St. Bonaventure. Oh, Collins steps in the way of Akuzaku and is able to clear it all the way up to Omri Peril. Hunt has Hadar. Nobody on the side with Hadar. Hadar moves in. Hadar the shot off the crossbar. There's the rebound up and over the crossbar. Deschert might have gotten a hand to that before it hit off the woodwork. But what a curling shot there from Hadar. One more look at this one. As eventually that one gets cleared away. Off screen, it's the Bonnies with a big counter now. It's Akwizaku. Akwizaku moves in. The shot over the crossbar there. Appeals for a touch from Ludasan. Fail, as it's just going to be a goal kick. I didn't believe Ludasan got a hand to that one. So it's going to be a goal kick. Earlier on today, we asked Don Diamber about Luis Ludasan and how he's been this season, finally being healthy this year. And Diamber said that Ludasan gives them a sense of security. He does well in the few opportunities that he gets every game because the Hawks back line do a great job preventing many shots on towards Ludasan. As here comes Hadar the other way. Driehaus. Quick whistle. It's going to be a free kick now for St. Bonaventure. Back to Luis Ludasan. Don Diamber also said that he's calm under pressure. We've seen him kind of command the box and does great in breakaway attempts. So Ludasan, just another part of a successful season for the Hawks so far as they aim to try and make the A10 conference tournament. Here's Lyons. Collins plays it back over towards Lyons. Akwizaku causing some pressure to flex off of him, though. So it's going to be a throw-in for the Hawks. More substitutions now. Keegan Dawson coming off for St. Bonaventure. Fletcher Kapanekia. James Fletcher coming off as well. We'll get you all the other substitutions in just a minute.
Number 8, CJ to catch.
CJ to catch, replacing Dawson.
In for the Hawks, number 7, Luke Johnson. Number 11, Alex Hood.
It was just 2 substitutions that came off for the Hawks. I thought I saw a third, but only 2. As Alex Hood and Luke Johnson enter the game. Luke Johnson's been a nice little offensive spark so far in his freshman season. Nicastro. Sabillos. Ellich over towards Warble. Warble, little pass over towards to catch. Great defense by Lyons to just poke that pass away. Here's Alex Hood. Brandvong. Driehaus. Johnson plays it back to Anderson. Anderson's going to have to move ahead as Warble's around him pressuring. Hood. Bad turnover there from the Hawks. Here comes Akwizaku to Warble. Those two have been a handful for that Hawks defense so far in the first half. But the Hawks able to dispossess Warble there. Here's Hunt. Back over to Vujovic. Hunt looking for some options. Elects to play it back to Lyons. Lyons long ball sending Driehaus forward. However, the pass just a little ahead of Driehaus there and out of play. Throw in for the Bonnies. 13.5 minutes to go here in the first half. The Hawks currently up 1-0 thanks to a Kenyatta Collins goal. They might have another one here. Here's the shot. It's deflected. Johnson tries to get in the way. Unable to come away with the ball as that one just goes out of play for a throw-in now in favor of St. Bonaventure. But Kenyatta Collins scoring early in this contest off a throw-in from Garrett Lyons. A battle in front of the Hawks bench now. Crafty pass from Johnson to Brandvong. Driehaus's pass will just roll out of play, so a goal kick now for the Bonnies. St. Joe's currently tied with George Mason for the least amount of goals in the A10 with 10 heading into this contest. Now they're at 11, looking to build upon that in the final 2 games, this game and then the game against St. Louis next week. Here's Akwizaku. Warble floats it into the box. Hit down by Vujovic. And here comes Hadar. Hadar goes into the middle. Finds Driehaus. Driehaus swings it all the way over to Hunt. Here's Vujovic. Oh, Brandvong stumbling, but able to regain his balance and just pass that off to Lyons. Low center of gravity for Brandvong. Vujovic to Hadar. Hadar trying to go one-on-one with Shi. Hadar plays it in. Johnson sends it into the box. Cleared away, but right to the feet of Vujovic. Anderson. Here's Hood. Hood, low cross, cleared away. That was by number 4, Xavier Ellich. Warble got pushed down, but regains his balance and stays on the ball and eventually swings it wide to Perea. Look at the space ahead for Perea. Perea trying to fake out Vujovic. Akwizaku to Warble. Whistle's blown. Not sure exactly what the call is here. Maybe there was a cleat in the box, I believe. Something was in the box that just got thrown off to the side. Again, I'm not sure what the exact call was, as we're trying to phone downstairs to see what happened. Steve Wacker and Don DeAmber trying to get some information from the 4th official. Eventually, Shi is going to come off. It could have been a injury concern with Haji Shi. I'm not too confident in that, though, as we'll figure out what's going on. Shi's coming off. St. Bonaventure down to 10 men once again. As Chris Hunt having some words with the official. Shi has been replaced by number 18, Will Phillips. You can't miss him, standing in around 6'5". Long ball over towards Perea. We're back underway. Oh, heavy contact there between Nicastro and Vujovic. Battle in the corner now. Quick throw in for St. Bonaventure.
Number 18, Will Phillips.
To catch, tried to play it in and deflected off Hunt. And it's just going to be a corner kick now for Perea. Two more substitutions coming on now for St. Bonaventure, including number 25, Hunter Allenball.
Alexander Mihov. And Hunter Allenball in for
Alexander Mihov, the other substitute coming in for St. Bonaventure. That one gets bounced in the air. Hard shot. I think Ludasan got a hand to that one. If so, I mean, that was a hard shot coming right towards the goal frame. Mihov will play it wide. That shot came from Xavier Ellich. This ball gets played in. Collins heads it up in the air and just bounces to the hands of Ludasan. Just over 9 minutes to go here. Hawks currently clinging on to a 1-0 lead, looking to build upon that with a few more insurance goals. Ludasan punts it down. Johnson, here's Hood. Nice poke from Anderson. Hunt. Johnson. St. Bonaventure kind of collapsing towards the ball. Akwizaku. Akwizaku trying to move around Hadar. Hadar had his hands all over him. And it's going to be a free kick now for the Bonnies. Shirt trying to find Warble. Was kicked up by Anderson, eventually played back over towards Mihov. Anderson the first to that one in the air. Driehaus. Out of play, throw in for the Bonnies. Mihov. Trickles over towards Warble. Warble still on the ball. Plays this far to Perea. Perea the settle, crosses it in. But it just goes over the end line before he's able to put the pass in. So it's going to be a goal kick now for the Hawks. Alexander Mihov, we mentioned he came in just a few minutes ago. Spent time with Atletico Madrid when he was younger. Mihov, a native of Madrid, Spain. As the Bonnies once again on offense, it's Mihov. Ships it ahead towards Perea, dispossessed by Vujovic. As Anderson now. Plenty of space and time for Anderson. You can see Hadar moving up on the front of your screen. There was tons of space ahead of Hadar. However, nobody was able to find him on the near side. So away we go with Perea going the other way now for the Bonnies. Perea plays it in. Cleared away. Headed up by Tkach. Ooh, Johnson gets pulled down by Akwizaku, who was quick to help him up there. Nice sportsmanship from Akwizaku. The clock has been stopped. I think Tkach has had a few choice words with the official after the play. But we're going to continue now. Ludasan directing some orders before he plays this ball back into play. To the top of the 18. It was headed up by Phillips. Akwizaku towards Mihov. Brandvong was able to get a foot in there. Lyons, nice pass through the legs of Akwizaku, but nobody was home to receive that one, so it's just going to be a throw-in now for the Bonnies. Substitution now as Akwizaku heads off. Zach McBennett comes in. McBennett, a freshman from Syracuse. Warble and Johnson clashing in the midfield. Wilbert over towards Ellich. Brandvong loses it. It was contact from McBennett. All it's going to be is a free kick now for the Hawks. We mentioned the Hawks heading into today on the outside looking in, sitting in 9th right now as the top 8 teams make the A10 conference. There's going to be a lot of moving parts and pieces after today's games. As we mentioned, LaSalle, who is currently, as that ball gets played into the box, and out of play, just a goal kick. We mentioned LaSalle, who is sitting in 7th place right now, lost earlier to George Washington, who was sitting in 10th. So if the Hawks can hold on to a win today, they'll certainly be able to move up the table. Deschert plays this into the middle. It's soared past Brandvon, but eventually goes to the feet of Collins. Vujovic. Here's Driehaus. Hadard switching the field over to Anderson. I'm sorry, that's Lyons. Hunt plays this down towards the sideline. Alex Hood is there trying to wrestle that ball away from Wilbert. Another goal kick. Deschurt's been busy with the goal kicks today. There's an appeal there from Hood for a corner kick, but did not work out. Smith to Wilbert, who launches it up towards Warble. To catch. Swung over from Ellich to Perea. McBennett. Oh, Collins. Heavy push from behind. And it's going to be another free kick now for St. Bonaventure. They've been all around the outside of the box with free kicks today. We've seen some creative strategies towards these free kicks. But still, none of them have found the back of the net. Perea stands on top of this one once again. Ludasan instructing his wall of Hadar and Vujovic on where to stand. Perea plays this in. There's Ludasan, who will punch it away. Not out of danger yet are the Hawks, as Smith tries to get in there, battling with Brandvon. There's a pass over towards Smith, who backheels. And Smith, with Hawks all over him, eventually loses the ball in the box. Cleared down. To catch, will send it right back up for the Bonnies. Looking for McBennett. It was headed down by Lyons. Played back to Lyons. Sends it into the middle. Headed over towards the catch. The catch's pass did not connect with number 25, Hunter Allenball. Hood got in the way there, and a quick whistle will result in a free kick now for St. Joe's. Hawks in no particular rush right now to take this free kick. To the left of your screen, that is Luis Ludasan, who is way out of his net to take this one. They'd prefer to have Lyons up as a target rather than take this, so that's why Ludasan's taking it. It goes to the top of the 18, headed up in the air, goes down to Hood. Hood, the shot, wide.
Remaining in the first half.
Goal kick for the Bonnies. You can see Deschert in no particular rush to take this. Headed up by Warble. Oh, Collins took some contact in the air with that ball. Perea. Zach McBennett collided with Collins in the air for that. I think he took some contact in the face. Looks like he just needs a minute to shake that one off. So a quick drop ball, as St. Bonaventure was in possession of that before the ref had to stop the play for Collins. Here's Brandvon, who picked that pass right off. Brandvon shifting around in the midfield. Oh, McBennett goes flying, trying to win that ball. Clock has been stopped. It's just going to be a free kick now for St. Bonaventure. 10 seconds to go. Warble trying to catch Ludasan off his line.
6, 5,
And he plays it
4,
right to the feet of Ludasan, who settles it cleanly, and that will do it in the first half. After 45 minutes of play, the score is the St. Joseph's Hawks 1, the St. Bonaventure Bonnie 0. We will be back at Sweeney Field after a quick commercial break. Hawks tied Loyola Maryland 0-0 in the middle of the week. Loyola Maryland outshot the Hawks 14-9, leading in shots on goal 3-2. Chris Hunt led the Hawks in shots with 3, as Luis Ludasan picked up his 4th clean sheet of the year with 3 saves. As we are underway in the second half, this is a must-win for St. Joe's as they are looking to head into the final game of the contest, or of the season, at St. Louis with a win today. Akuzaku heads that up, and he is laboring after that clash in the air. As the official heading over to check if Akuzaku is okay. I think he collided with Kenyatta Collins on that play. Akuzaku, a big target forward for the St. Bonaventure team. Him and Matthew Warble have been a real menace to the Hawks' back line today. Akuzaku was actually part of the Dwayne De Rosario Academy, Dwayne De Rosario being an MLS legend. Akuzaku had scored 25 goals in the 2018-19 season in the D-Row Academy. He had 3 goals last season in his freshman year, currently has 2 in 2022. So we are back underway. Akuzaku is okay, as Ludasan will sky this one into the air. Ended up being headed backwards by Decatch. Driehaus finds Omri Peril wide. Here comes Peril, looking to go one-on-one with Wilbert. Peril cuts in, still on the ball. There's the shot, just wide. Great idea by Omri Peril. We mentioned he's really woken up the past few games. Really testing Deschert there on a dangerous shot. Peril currently has 2 goals and 3 assists in 2022. Here's Akuzaku once again. Look how high Hartman's playing up. It's a catch. Swings it over to number 25, Allen Ball, whose pass was intercepted by Lyons. Eventually deflected out of play. Hawks ball. Omri Peril is the leader currently with 7 points on the team with 2 goals and 3 assists. Garrett Lyons in second with 6 points, having a goal and 4 assists on the year. Anderson throws that towards the corner. See a gorgeous day in Philadelphia today. This one bounces down towards Anderson. Pink and orange skies once again here on Hawk Hill, as this ball gets played over towards Warble. Warble harassed by Vujovic and Hunt. The Hawks eventually come away with it. Kapanekia plays this over towards Peril. Peril, fancy footwork, makes his way into the box, plays it in, but right into the hands of Deschert. This is not the only event going on in Philadelphia today, as many people know in South Philadelphia around 7:45, the Phillies will be hosting the Padres in Game 4 of the NLCS. I'm sure everybody will be tuning into that a little bit later tonight. Akuzaku will play this over. Warble. Here's Allen Ball. Ellis loses it there. Here come the Hawks the other way. Peril. Lyons chips it up towards Driehaus. Wilbert was there, headed down by Anderson. Heavy pressure from Driehaus as Smith has to play it down towards Deshirt. Deshirt plays it wide. There's Phillips. You can't miss him with that hairdo. That one gets played out of play. Throw in now for the Bonnies. Phillips will take this. Phillips, a freshman from Elm Grove, Wisconsin. Eventually, Hartman came away with the ball and plays it over towards Anderson. Anderson chipping it up. He's looking for James Fletcher. Phillips was able to cut that pass off. Phillips into the middle. Here's the catch. Ellich. Hawks beginning to move up and pressure a little bit more. Here's Perea. Perea was very active in that first half for the Bonnies. However, he turns the ball over now. Here's Vujovic. Hunt. Hunt cuts back. Plays it in. Headed out by Smith. Touched by Mihov. Oh, and Phillips' clearance was deflected by Hartman. Trickles down all the way to Deshirt. However, there's going to be a stoppage and now a free kick in favor of the Bonnies. That's Clay Smith, redshirt junior from Chesapeake, Virginia, launching that forward. Smith came from Marquette, made 10 appearances and 1 start in 3 seasons with them before coming over to St. Bonaventure. A lot of transfers on this team. This one gets sent up towards Anderson and Allenball. Anderson the first to that one in the air. Here's Perrell. Perrell plays it wide over to Fletcher. Fletcher trying to go one-on-one. Plays it back. Vujovic sends it forward. There's Driehaus, the header, into the hands of Deshirt. However, Driehaus was offsides on the play, so it's going to result in a free kick now for St. Bonaventure. Deshirt sending everybody up now before he plays this one back in. Sends it in towards the middle. It was headed up by Akwizaku. Falls to Tkach. There was a collision right in front of the Hawks bench area, right in front of Steve Wacker there, as Tkach and Perrell went down. There's going to be a free kick now for the Bonnies, right in front of the coaches of the Hawks. Rich Ungaro and Steve Wacker, you can see, yelling out some instructions as Don D'Ambra is a little past them, farther down on the bench area. Here's Rohrabel. Rohrabel takes a tumble and then clips. That looks like Vujovic, who went down. The official has stopped the clock there as Vujovic remains down. There's no ill intent there. It was just Rohrabel who went down, and as he was tumbling down, I think caught Vujovic somewhere on his leg. Don't want to speculate, of course. He is up and ready to go. As Ludasan will play this wide. Hartman. It was deflected by Allenball. as Peril, I think, thought that it was going to be a throw-in for the Hawks. Instead, it's a throw-in for the Bonnies. Wilbert will throw this one in. Elects to throw it back to Smith. You can tell who Smith is on the field with those bright neon cleats. Smith plays it up. Hartman, big step there, takes somebody down in the process. That's Mihov who went down. So a free kick now in favor of St. Bonaventure. Swung wide to Phillips. Played over from Elich. Vujovic has to boot it up, and out of play, throw in for the Bonnies. Phillips throws it in, played into the center, where Elich will head it over towards Allenball. Allenball, here's Mihov. Mihov going one-on-one. Shot deflected. Out of play, caught by one of the ball boys here. That's the 2010 PA Rush boys team helping us out today. As Wilbert finds Allenball. Ooh, Allenball tried to split two Hawks, got taken down, no call. Here's Driehaus. Driehaus trying to make his way through two Bonnies. He'll draw some contact, then he'll draw a foul. So a free kick now for the Hawks. Just over 35 minutes ago in the second half, you are just tuning in. The Hawks are up 1-0 thanks to a Kenyatta Collins goal off a throw-in from Garrett Lyons very early in the first half. Hawks looking to build upon this 1-0 lead with a few more insurance goals. That's a risky pass to Ludasan, who has to come way out of his box to clear it away. Peril. Over to Anderson. Anderson flicks it back to Driehaus. Peril. Back into the middle. There's Hartman. Hartman's going to spin away from a few Bonnies and play it back to Lyons. Anderson, nice combination there by the Hawks. Peril gets a little fancy with a back heel. Driehaus is going to be able to keep it in. Driehaus racing along the end line. Still on the ball, gets pulled down, no call. Floats to Peril. Peril plays this into the box, and Shirt is right there, who will quickly roll this one out to Perea. Perea swings it over to Nicastro. Or I'm sorry, that's Mihov. Hard challenge by Kapanekia. Sent Mihov down to the ground. Hawks have some options going forward. Hunt plays Peril down the side. Peril makes a move, still on the ball. Peril, the shot, it's low, and it's saved by Shirt. Shirt's been busy and has done a pretty good job keeping that ball out of the back of the net. Yeah, he gave up that goal early in the first half, but it could be a lot worse on the scoreboard right now than just 1-0. Elich. Here's Wilbert. Likes to switch the field over to Phillips. Here's Rohrabel. Rohrabel loses it. Played over to Anderson. Anderson. Kapanekia, nice move. There's a shot, deflected. Smith's able to keep that one in. Smith. To catch, plays it over to Rohrabel along the sideline. Allen ball. Oh, Bonnie's trying to keep that one in. That was Mihov, but I think that ball might have already went out before he deflected that. So a quick distribution out now from Ludasan. Here's Anderson. Peril. Wide now. Here's Vujovic. Looking to connect with Fletcher, just out of play. Akuzaku. Rohrabel was trying to get around his man there. It was poked out of play. As we have a substitution now for St. Bonaventure. It's number 13, David Sabillos, coming back in for number 28, Andrew Wilbert. That cross is sent in, bounces around towards the feet of Allen ball. Allen ball, still on the ball, plays it into the middle. Kicked away by Hunt. As it's going to be a corner kick now for the Bonnies. That looks like Mihov who's taking that, instead of the usual Perea. Played in, Ludasan rises to the occasion there to punch it away. There's a player down for the Bonnies. It was Phillips. Another player goes down. And a yellow card has been issued to James Fletcher.
Yellow card issued for St. Joe's number 12, James Fletcher.
So a Bonnie remains down. I think that's no, that is not Matthew Rohrabel. That is CJ Tkach, who's just been helped up. Phillips was down on the ground after colliding with Ludasan off the corner kick. And then Tkach was taken down by Fletcher. Here's the instant replay one more time on the corner kick. As eventually off screen, the set piece was cleared away by the Hawks. Sabillos, Rohrabel couldn't keep that one in, so it's out of play. Few substitutions now for the Hawks.
In for the Hawks, number 13, Ariel Hadar. Number 8, Truls.
Ariel Hadar has checked back in, as well as Truls Brandvang. Thrown to Driehaus. Brandvang wide. Settled by Vujovic. Here's Fletcher. Fletcher looking for an option, just plays it back to Vujovic. Brandvang. Vujovic again, directing traffic, plays it up to Fletcher. Fletcher plays it into the middle. Cleared away there by the Bonnies. Rohrabel. Rohrabel trying to get away from Brandvang, plays it to Akuzaku. And eventually curled over to the near side here for Sabillos. Mihov. Stabbed away by Brandvong. And eventually kicked down to Driehaus. Driehaus able to win that in the air against Sabillos. Driehaus trying to make his way into the box. Plays this over to Peril. Peril, the shot, and the goal! Omri Peril adds another goal to his career, and the Hawks take a 2-0 lead here at Sweeney Field.
Assisted by number 9, Blake.
That's Omri Peril's third of the season. And a huge insurance goal there from the Hawks, clinging to a 2-0 lead now. Here's a look one more time at that goal from Peril. Nice move and an even better finish, able to curl that around to Shirt into the back of the net. So 2-0 now in favor of the Hawks. Really big insurance goal there. St. Bonaventure was starting to threaten a little bit so far in the second half. But it's 2-0 from Omri Peril's third goal of the season. Hawks looking to build upon that lead even more with just under 28 minutes to go. Here's Warble. Warble still on the ball. There's a low shot saved by Ludasan. Making that one look easy. That one had some pace on the ground. As this one gets played into the middle, Driehaus tried to chest it down. Here's Hunt. Hunt over to Peril. Peril has some space in front of him, but that's only because he was offsides. So a offsides call there on Peril. Free kick now for St. Bonaventure. Bit of a commotion now as I think the official trying to back Sabillos up before he plays this in. Big boot from Sabillos. Warble wrestling around with Lyons there. Lyons pokes it up and out of play. Warble. Sabillos back to Smith. Oh, intercepted by Hunt. Anderson. Back to Hunt. He has Peril to his left. Hunt elects to cut towards the 18. Just lays it off now for Peril. Omri Peril. Over to Hunt. Into the middle. Here's Hadar. Shot. Saved by Deschert. Out for a corner kick. And Fletcher is right there to take it. Nice little build up there from St. Joe's. Hadar was looking to really put this game on ice with the third goal there, but an even better save from Deschert. So Fletcher will take this. Goes into the air, headed down. Cleared back into the air. And eventually out of the box by the Bonnies. Vujovic sends it back up. Ooh, Deschert had to deflect that one away. I don't think he smacked it the way he wanted to there. But it's going to be a throw-in now for Garrett Lyons. Everybody knows the drill now when Lyons heads over to take these throw-ins. Everybody in the box. It goes near post. Phillips headed it away, but it's going to be a corner kick now. Looks like it's Hadar who's headed over to take this. Harrell giving him the short option. You can see a line in the middle of the box there. And volleyed out of play. So just a goal kick now for the Bonnies. That looked like it was Chris Hunt who volleyed it out. Hunt's been active on the corner kicks, just hasn't been able to find the back of the net. The catch, trying to dribble out of trouble, plays it to Smith. Look how far DeShirt came out of his net to give him a short option, but they elect to play it up. Phillips has to clear it away. Heavy contact in the box. No call. Allen ball. Now there's a whistle. Really delayed call there, as Phillips is still laboring after that challenge. As DeShirt will play this quickly over to Phillips and eventually kicks it down the field. Settled by Rorbel. Two Hawks flocking over to him. To catch. Not a strong pass there as Peril came back and was able to intercept it. Good job by Hunt to pass out of trouble there. Hunt looking for a long ball to Fletcher. Wasn't able to connect. Vujovic. Collins. This one goes all the way back. Ludasan, heavy pressure, has to dump it to the sideline. This is going to be a throw-in for the Bonnies. It's a catch. Here's Rorbel. Hunt trying to get in the way. Hunt receives a pass from Vujovic. Driehaus. Oh, almost was able to get around Smith there. Smith able just to poke it away. Oh, and heavy contact once again in front of the Hawks bench area. Another delayed call there from the official. As it's a free kick now for St. Bonaventure. Quick free kick as Phillips will receive it. Two players go down there. I thought we were going to continue playing, but no, another delayed call. Mihov gets called for the foul as Vujovic went down. Vujovic has had quite a physical battle so far this game, as Ludasan has moved up to take this one. Multiple substitutions waiting at midfield. Two Bonnies and one Hawk. This one goes up and eventually booted away. Allen ball. Out of play. Throw in for Anderson. However, we have a few substitutions. Chris Hunt comes off. Omri Peril comes off. Alex Hood and Luke Johnson re-entering the game. That looks like number 10, Luca Nicastro, coming back in, as well as number 14, Keegan Dawson, both re-entering the game. There's a throw. It was headed by Sabillos, headed down by Dawson.
And for St. Bonaventure, number 10, Luca Nicastro. Number 14, Keegan Dawson.
Oh, Allen ball takes Driehaus down, so it's going to be a free kick now in favor of St. Joe's. Let's see who's going to take this one. You can see the negotiating between Hadar and Fletcher. both still standing over the ball here. Fletcher's going to lay it off. Hadar's going to take it, still bouncing around, hit off the post. Shot in a goal. It's Garrett Lyons. Garrett Lyons hitting home the rebound.
Goal,
And it's
St.
3-0
Joseph's.
St. Joe's.
Scored by number 31, Garrett Lyons.
There's a little bit of confusion surrounding that goal. However, Lyons helping the Hawks take a 3-0 lead. You could see kept bouncing around, hit off the post, and Lyons hammers it home. So Garrett Lyons scoring his second goal of the season. Third goal of the game for the Hawks. And it is 3-0, a result that I think a lot of people expected today at Sweeney Field. Certainly a result that a lot of Hawks hoped for today. To catch, plays this back to Sabillos. Smith trying to dribble out of pressure. Plays it to the far side. Dawson finds Sabillos once again. Ooh, what a pass from Warble. Here's Nicastro. Nicastro back to Warble. Warble sends it in. Akuzaku trying to get a shot. It goes to Nicastro. Nicastro, and eventually cleared away. That was Anderson who kicked it away before Ludasan was about to pounce on it. Nonetheless, it's going to be a corner kick. Hawks up 3-0 if you're just joining us. Goals coming from Kenyatta Collins, Omri Peril, and Garrett Lyons. This one goes near post. Phillips heads it back. Akuzaku tried to get in there, eventually cleared away by the Hawks. Driehaus. Here's Johnson. Picked off by Warble. Warble trying to make a move past Fletcher. Was looking to send a teammate in. It was picked off, though, by Vujovic. Here's Hood. Hawks not really in much urgency to move down the field. They have a 3-goal lead. Hood pressuring Smith. Gets played to Shirt. Hood's right there again. Oh, and the pass gets picked off. It's Driehaus. Driehaus moves in, lays it off to Hood, but the pass was played behind him and cleared away. Good pressure, though, from St. Joe's. They're up 3-0, but still continuing to put pressure on that back line of St. Bonaventure. Mikkel Anderson off. John Axman coming in. Thrown towards Hood. Phillips all over him. Driehaus. Poked ahead. Battling for it above the 18. Won by St. Bonaventure. Dawson plays it back. Smith. Sabillos. To catch, plays it wide. That's Perea. To catch, back to Dawson. Playing to the near sideline for Allen Ball. Hood all over him. Perea. Perea's been much quieter in this second half as compared to the first. However, he gets that pass off to Dawson in the middle. Nicastro. Bonnie's just looking for a lane to pass to. Perea and Nicastro combining. Johnson got in the way to deflect it out. So it's going to be a throw-in now. As you can see, Keegan Dawson racing to the sideline to take this. There's a throw, it flows into the box. Went over the head of Phillips. Brandvong has to volley it out. Hard shot. Went way wide there. I think that was Rohrabel trying for the extraordinary. Just a throw-in now for the Hawks.
Number 16, Mikkel Anderson in for the Hawks.
Mikkel Anderson checking back in for Filip Vujovic. Vujovic has certainly given a good effort today for the Hawks. Axman will throw it in once again. It's headed up and played towards Akwizaku. Brandvong comes away with it. Plays it back to Anderson. Anderson to Brandvong in the middle. Pass was picked off by St. Bonaventure. Akwizaku plays it forward. Rohrabel. Rohrabel and Lyons has been a really good matchup all day. Rohrabel gets dispossessed there. Here's Johnson. Hadar. Here's Hood. Hood trying to make his way into the box. It was a sliding challenge by Phillips that will result in a corner kick. And there's James Fletcher to take this. Fletcher's looking to put a right-footed cross into the box, and there it is, into the middle. It's headed down, cleared off the line. Another stab at it from Hood. Played right back in, headed up. There's a shot from Hadar. What a save by Deschert. And eventually cleared away by the Bonnies. Hadar really in search of his first goal of the season there. Just missing that one. It was a great save by Deschert. Fletcher Kapanecki has re-entered the game for James Fletcher.
Fletcher Kapanecki in for the Hawks.
As another corner kick now for St. Joe's. It's a long throw instead. Collins got a piece of it. Just out of play. Goal kick. Phillips. Hood, I believe, got in the way of that pass. Smith, again, dribbling out of danger, finds Rohrabel. Lays it off. Here's Perea. Perea trying to go one-on-one with Anderson. Perea cuts back. There's the ball into the box. Ludasan, what a save. I don't think Rohrabel got a piece of that. It just happened to bounce towards the net. Ludasan was able to just get a hand on it. So a long throw in now for Dawson. Goes towards Phillips, who missed the header there. Dawson swings it back in, cleared away by the Hawks. This dribbles down to Smith. Here's Perea. Trying to get out of a double team, gets tripped up. And it's going to be a free kick once again for St. Bonaventure. As mentioned in the first half, they've had free kicks all over the place around the box, but still haven't been able to find the back of the net. And here's the effort from Ludasan one more time. I'm not sure if Warble got a piece of that again or not. It was very close to his foot, but Ludasan using that gigantic frame he has just to push that ball out of the net. So set piece now. That was low and driven off the wall. That was Warble who took it. Flicked back towards Ludasan, cleared away by the Hawks. It's Hadar. Launching Hood forward. Here comes Alex Hood, making a move, and eventually gets dispossessed. I believe Sabillos got in the way there. Deschert. Played over towards Phillips. Look at this heavy pressure from the Hawks. Smith has to get it out. Warble gets on top of it and plays this over towards Nicastro, who will let it fall for Allen ball. Akuzaku. Nicastro curls it over. Allen ball got taken down. Another free kick now for St. Bonaventure. Quick free kick was played, a little too quick for the officials' liking. So Ludasan looking to pick up his 5th clean sheet this season with a win here against St. Bonaventure. But there's still 8 minutes to go. And St. Bonaventure has looked threatening off of these set pieces, however, just haven't been able to find the back of the net. Half in part due to Ludasan. As Nicastro and Perea stand over this. Nicastro sends it in, headed up by Collins. So eventually it goes down to Sabillos. Heavy pressure now from the Hawks once again. Deschert all the way out of the box. That was John Axman who's chasing the St. Bonaventure defense down, trying to win possession. Here's Phillips. Swung wide towards Allenbaugh. Johnson. Here come the Hawks once again. It's Hadar. Ariel Hadar has looked so close to getting those two shots into the back of the net earlier in this contest, still in search of his first goal of the season. Nicastro. Dawson swings it over to Phillips, who took a little nudge there from Driehaus. Played over to Smith. Smith, oh, great header by Collins. Smith was looking to play that ball over the top, but Collins raising into the air to head that one away. Here's Alex Hood once again. Great pass over to Driehaus, who's in an onside position. Driehaus plays it over. Here's Brandvang. Brandvang was looking to center that one in. It was deflected, but they're going to say last touch off of St. Joe, so a goal kick for Deschert. Substitution now for St. Joe's before that goal kick happens. It looks like it's Driehaus coming off and Omri Peril coming back in. Peril has one of the 3 goals so far today. Nice little cut by Dawson. Ooh, Warble gets taken down hard. Caponecchia was a little too aggressive there. And look at Peril staying in front of St. Bonaventure there, preventing the quick free kick. Long ball played over towards Allen Ball, who's unable to get on top of that. It was nice pressure from Axman. Axman throws it ahead. Brandvong into the middle. Hadar. Back to Collins. Here comes the pressure from the Bonnies. Ludasan has to think fast and will play this out all the way towards the side. Hood now on Allen Ball, who will play it back to Sabillos. To catch back to Phillips. Dawson ahead to Nicastro. Nicastro, Akwinzaku. There's a hard shot from Nicastro up and over the crossbar and out of play. Goal kick for the Hawks with 4 minutes and change remaining. If you're just tuning in, the Hawks up 3-0 thanks to a first half goal from Kenyatta Collins and then 2 second half goals, one from Omri Perrell and one from Garrett Lyons. If the score remains, it'll be a crucial win for the St. Joe's Hawks, who are looking to sneak their way into the A10 conference tournament, but they still have a daunting task next week as they travel to St. Louis to take on the Billikens. Perea still has some bursts of speed, despite it being late in this game. Warble's pass was deflected as Dawson has to play it over to Phillips. Perrell almost got on top of that one. Smith getting away from Perrell. Here's Nicastro. Nicastro tries to chip it over. Collins was able to get a foot onto it and just clear it away. Axman having problems keeping that ball in, so it's going to be a throw-in now for St. Bonaventure. Looked like they had Hood streaking down the field. I'm surprised they tried to play it back to Axman there. Long ball over the top to Perrell. Sword over his head. Johnson gets in the way of the catch, able to take the ball away, and then a collision in the middle of the field between Caponecchia and I believe Nicastro. Ludasan will take this. Kicked up ahead towards the top of the 18. Hood trying to run this down in the corner. He's able to get on top of it. Battling with Allen Ball, gets shoved down. But again, all it's going to be is a goal kick. Minute 46 to go. Nicastro. Swung over now. It's Dawson. Bonnie's still on the ball. This one gets played over. Collins gets in the way, doing his best to try and keep that in. Just about a minute to go now. Hawks just hoping that clock ticks down quick.
1 minute remaining in regulation.
This one gets played into the box. It's headed by Warble. Off frame there, but hey, St. Bonaventure still threatening. Despite being down 3 with a minute to go. That almost was Warble's 7th goal of the season. So Ludasan, one-time A10 Defender of the Week this season, will take his time before putting this ball into play. No urgency from him. Play this over towards Hood. Hood gets a touch, trying to get around to catch. Booted up. Kapanecki is there.
10,
Or that was
9,
Axman, I apologize.
7, 6,
Here's Hood.
5, 4.
Hood plays that into the middle. There's Peril, the shot. That one goes wide. And that will do it here.
Score, St. Joseph
After
3,
90 minutes of
St.
action,
Bonaventure 0.
it is a St. Joe's Hawks 3, the St. Bonaventure Bonnies 0. A crucial win for the Hawks, as now we will wait and see how the rest of the A-10 goes for tonight as well as next Saturday. But for all of us here at Sweeney Field, I am